Good evening. Hi. Hello, welcome. Thank you very much for coming out on this lovely day. It's been another lovely one, hasn't it, this evening? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Hannah and I have been working with the spirit world for about 14 years now. And one of the things that I always like to say at the start of my DEMS is that I didn't know I was a medium. It's not like you see it portrayed in the movies. I have learnt this, and you can learn how to do this too if you want to. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of soul searching, a lot of pain, but it is really an amazing thing. So I always like to start this evening by just giving you a few little tips and things of how this evening's going to work. I've got a list because I always forget it. First of all, can you make sure your phones are off, please? If your phone, I know it makes you paranoid, doesn't it? If your phone does go off, we will boo you because it is tradition at my shows. Although, when I was in Surbiton, someone's phone went off right at the back and I didn't hear the phone. All I heard was people booing. And it gave me a really bad existential crisis. It was awful. Now, I've seen quite a few of very crisp, delicious looking glasses of wine entering this room this evening. You are my people. I love a drink. I will never judge you for it. But, little piece of information, when you've had 2 glasses of wine, your volume goes up. Who knew? So, if you are that person, or even if you're just a chatty person, I ask if you could please really try not to talk during the show. I am trying to connect to an invisible, unseen force, and you talking is the only thing I can hear when that happens. Last night in Southampton, we had some very chatty people who talked all the way through the show, and Amanda is on 0 tolerance for it tonight, so you may be ejected. She is small but mighty and quite scary, so I would do as she says. If you need the loo, if I could ask that you please go in between links when hopefully you're all giving me a standing ovation, round of applause, rather than in the middle of a link. It just really helps with my energy. And I wanted to start by explaining to you how it works. Because if you're like me and you've watched Medium or Ghost Whisperer, anyone? Yeah, a few of you. It's getting a bit old now, isn't it? Sixth Sense? Yeah, a few more, okay. Then the little boy in that, I see dead people, and he hears them speaking like I speak to you, like you are hearing these things now. Now the thing is, when somebody moves into the spirit world, they're no longer in a physical body. We understand that, yes? We understand that stays behind. This means they no longer have a voice box. So when they are speaking to a medium, what they are actually doing is sending that medium an energy, and we are doing our best to interpret it. The reason I tell you that is, how many of you, let's see if you're brave enough to put your hands up, how many of you set a password with your loved ones this evening? I don't believe you. No one's owning up to it. Okay. So many people do, and it makes perfect sense. I completely understand it. But what I'm asking, please, is if you could work with me if what I say is true, and not hold me and your loved ones hostage because you're waiting for them to say blue sparkly thong. And unless they say blue sparkly thong, you're not putting your hands up because that's what you agreed earlier. They'd try and get it through me if they could. They probably could get blue sparkly thong through me. We'll see what happens later. But there are things that I'm unable to perceive. So it should be true, it should be right for you, but don't just sit there going, well, I'm not putting my hands up until you say this, because then I won't be able to work with you. Does that make sense? To 3 of you? Yeah. Marvellous, okay. Now that leads me quite nicely to the next point of the evening, which I promise is one of the last ones, I'm nearly there, which is, you may not know this, but we're actually going to have a 3-way this evening. Yeah. I know, I hope you got ready. And what that means is, when I'm working with your loved one in the spirit world, it really helps if you bring energy to that interaction too. And I know, when I go to see mediums, I'm quite chatty, and you have this kind of weird, like, roller coaster of emotion where you go, oh my God, I think it might be for me. Is it for me? Oh, I don't want it to be for me. There's too many people here. I thought I wanted this. I'm nervous. And when I come to you, even if you're really chatty, you start going, and you don't actually answer. I get it, it happens all the time. The problem with that is, number one, I'm getting a bit older now, my eyesight is shocking, so I won't be able to see what you're doing from up here, honestly, it's true. And second of all, it makes for a really boring den. If I'm working with someone down here at the front and you're at the back and they're going, I could say any old shit, and I'd look like I was brilliant, but none of you would know. So if you're going to answer me, that would really help. Does that make sense? Yes. Am I going to have to hate it? This happens a lot with audiences. I'm going to have to do the panto thing. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you going to answer me? Yes! Lovely. The other thing that I want to say is I will obviously work as hard as I can this evening to get as many spirits through as I can, but I'm not going to be able to get a message for everybody. Now, the way that it works is your loved ones in spirit, they all know that you want to hear from them. They all know that you are waiting. But I'm in the vulnerable space here. This isn't a one-on-one, this is a group reading. So they will bring through spirits that are the easiest ones for me to work with through my reference points. So what that means is, it might not be who you're expecting to hear from this evening. So I'll ask you to keep an open mind. Don't ignore your nan because you really want to hear from your dad. Does that make sense? It happens more, you're laughing, but it happens. So I ask you please to just keep an open mind. But spirit are really clever. They're way cleverer than me. So your loved ones in spirit, if they're not going to be able to come through tonight, they will know that and they will try and find ways to show you. So there may be bits of evidence that are so random that come through a spirit that's got nothing to do with you, and I'm working with somebody else, but you go, oh my God, my dad had that, or oh my God, my dad looked like that, and that is their way of just letting you know they're around. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, great. Amanda said that table was too far back, and I said, no, it's fine, I'll get my steps in, but it is too far back. You were right, I was wrong. My apologies. Right, you can all go watch me work out tonight on the stage. Let me just move my mind to the spirit world. Okay, straight away I'm aware of Mum stepping forward, and I want to talk about Mum moving into spirit too soon. So there is this unexpected passing with Mum, and it feels quite sudden. It feels like the rug is pulled out from under you. So I do want to talk about this being cancer or illness related, but I feel like it moves at a much faster pace than normal. So I feel like she's diagnosed quite late, and there's not a lot they can do by the time that she is diagnosed. I want to talk about this being something to do with her stomach or her digestive issue, because I really feel that she's off her food, but she ignores it. There's some sort of pain here, but she ignores it. She is always worrying about everybody else, always taking care of everybody else. And I do feel there may have been some sort of, she was worried about your father. She was worried about something going on with him, so she's ignoring what's going on with her, and then when she does get diagnosed, it's really, really late. Now, I want to talk about her being a really warm, really lovely lady. She's got a lot of love to give. She's very affectionate. She's very, very thoughtful. And I need to talk about her really being like the heart of the home. And I know a lot of mums are, but there's this real feeling of warmth coming from her, of kindness. Nothing was ever too much trouble. She loved to be a mum. She loved to take care of you. I do want to talk about there being daughters, but also a son. So I feel like I have got lots of children, and I love them all so much. I dote on them all. Who am I with here? Please, who recognises mum? Excellent. Do you understand? Oh, got two possibles. Okay. Do you both understand everything? Yes? Yes. Look, I was trying not to do this in this venue, but I end up doing it every time. Okay. And one over here. Bollocks. I've got to do a better job. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. So, I want to talk about mum passing in her mid-50s. Does that work for all of you? No? Possibly? Possibly. Okay. Let me just get something else then. Okay, she's taking me straight back to this late diagnosis and passing. I do feel like she passes within a few weeks of her diagnosis. Would that make sense? No? Yes. Okay. Can I work with you, please? Thank you. So you would understand this to be mum, and you would understand, so how old was she? I said mid-50s. What was she? 60s, 61. I'll take that. 6 years out. Does she look good for her age?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. There you go. She'll be happy with me now and with you. And you would understand this being some sort of digestive. Everywhere. And she's off her food. That's about the only sign that she's worried about other people.
Yes. Yeah, she always worried about everybody.
Yeah. And so there's this kind of, it's a real shock to her because she has just turned away from it and ignored it and kept herself busy. Yeah. She doesn't want to make a fuss. She doesn't want to bring everyone down. You understand? So she goes, don't worry about me. How are you? No, I'm all right. How are you? And still busying herself, still very active.
Yes.
Up until this diagnosis where everything just crumbles.
Very much so.
And there is this real sense from her of, she can't change who she was. She can't change that she only cared about everybody else and never looked after herself properly. But equally, she didn't realise it was this bad. She really was just thinking there was something a bit off. Oh, I'm a bit more tired than usual. Maybe I'm coming down with something. Yep. Talking herself through it. So she's sorry. Because she didn't want to leave you. And you know this.
I do, yes.
And this would have been, as soon as she realises, and she's faced with this, her programming kicks in. What about everybody else? She's worried about everybody else. What are they? You make her promises.
Yes.
Yes, she makes you make promises. You're going to take care of all these people for her and make sure this gets done. It's like she moves into spirit. She's left you a massive long chores list of all these things that you've got to keep, all these plates you've got to keep spinning. Yeah. She acknowledges that she's who she was.
Yes.
There's a real feeling of you in particular being very strong for her. So I feel like she's wanting to acknowledge here that you are like a rock for her in this. Do you understand this?
I do, yes.
Yeah, and an acknowledgement from her from spirit that actually that was a lot for you.
I told her that she could go and that we'd be all right.
Yeah, and that was a hard thing. It was a hard pressure on you. You made those promises, you loved her, and you've kept them. She's very pleased with you. You've been a very good girl. But there is this acknowledgement of just you worrying about her, you taking care of her, and this feeling of her watching you from spirit where it all sort of falls on top of you. It's like you're under an avalanche of grief because you've been so strong and so sorting everybody else out. And so such a good girl that there is this, and she's there with you as it sort of all falls, and she is stroking your back. And she is comforting you as best that she can, so frustrated that she can't wrap her arms around you and you feel it. But she was there. Although her passing is incredibly shocking and quick in this scenario, she has really gone downhill very quickly and rapidly, hasn't she? And there's this real feeling of being so relieved when she moves into spirit, because she's really trying to stay and be there for everybody, and she's struggling to breathe, and it feels like it's getting heavier and heavier. So when she slips off, there is such a relief there that she wants to acknowledge. She really says it's nothing to be afraid of. It is just relief and peace. And she wants you to know that. There's a frustration of leaving everything undone, unfinished, everything unorganised. She's the kind of person, if she knew she was going to move into spirit, she'd have filled up the freezer. We all fill the meals that she, but she didn't have a chance to do those things. You talk to her all the time. She hears you. She answers you. You hear her. Yes. You think you're making it up. She is wanting you to know that is her. She is there. She's been sending you loads of signs, letting you know that she's around. She's showing you particular feathers, if you've been getting lots of feathers.
Yes.
Yes. It's her letting you know that she's there. It's her letting you know she's still around. She's also laughing. There's this kind of, do you think I'm going to miss any of this? I want to be here for all of it. She wants you to know she's still there. She's still seeing it. And she's never going to go anywhere. She loves you, sweetie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Right, I'm aware of a gentleman stepping forward with me here, and he has got a kind of cheeky energy that I really like. He feels like a bit of what I would call a white boy. Please don't be offended if this is your dad, but I just feel like he's a little bit bodge it and get on with this. I don't feel like he's got a big career path. I feel like he does a bit of this, he dabbles in a bit of that, he can turn his hand to anything. There's a real wheeler dealer kind of energy coming in with him that I want to acknowledge. I know that he can not take life too seriously, and there's this real Peter Pan-like energy coming in with him that I want to acknowledge, of just not growing up, not taking his responsibilities seriously. There's a real feeling of kind of, I'll get around to it, I'll do that one day, but he never really does. So I want to talk about him. He's a very popular man. He's got, I'm not sure if he's Irish or he's just got that kind of charm. There's definitely, he's a charming, funny, very popular, very well liked, known in the pub guy. And he's the guy that you turn to if you wanted something that had fallen off the back of a lorry, but he's also the guy that can build your garden wall for half the price of the others if you want him to. It might not last, but it will be there. And he's kind of got that kind of, I'll do anything I turn my hand to energy that is really, really important with him. Now, I do want to talk about there's some sort of separation here, because I do feel like as I'm working with him, he's wanting to acknowledge, when we're talking about this Peter Pan energy and not taking his responsibilities seriously, I feel like there is regret from him with regards to how he treated you and how he treated your mother. So I feel like there is an acknowledgement here of mistakes made that he is wanting to honour. And I do know if there might have been, I'm feeling some sort of separation or distance. So either that he moved away or you didn't see him for a time, but I feel like there's a gap I want to acknowledge. Who am I with, please?
Maybe.
Hi. Maybe. Okay, is there something you don't understand that's giving you a maybe?
Well, I've got two members of the males in my family. Could be either or, but sounds like my brother, actually.
Sounds like your brother, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it feels like a dad to me, so just bear with me. Was that another hand? Hello?
It's not a relative, it's a friend.
It's a friend. Okay, now I'm really getting dad, but thank you. Bear with me one sec then. Let me just go through this and see if I've got something that is a bit off. Right, so I've got this man, he's very, very charming. He can charm the birds from the trees, and I do feel like this is how people spoke about him. I do feel like he is in his 60s. I do feel like he is, still living that life that he's been living since he was 20, where he's kind of doing a bit of this, doing a bit of that. I do feel like he's got that kind of, he'll turn his hand to anything and he can do it. I think he was a roofer at one stage for a bit. I'm seeing pop tar. So all sorts of things like that I want to acknowledge. He would turn his hand, he would get involved and he'd do it for a bit. Very popular, very well known, known in the pub, well liked, even though he's a bit of a rogue. You can't take this?
My brother was a lovable rogue.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Dad. Okay. Hi.
It sounds like my granddad, not my dad, but I was quite young.
Okay.
So everything you said sounds like
Okay. Let me just see. So you would understand charming, but a bit of a nightmare. Yes. Do you understand the regret with how he treated his wife?
Yes.
Yes. And do you,
For what I've been told, again, I would have been about 10, 11.
okay. And do you understand the separation? Was there a period of time when people didn't see him?
Not that I...
Not that you're aware of. Okay, we're playing hopscotch. I'm not sure then, because I really feel that these things are true. Hello.
This was a guy many years ago. It's not my dad. It was an old boyfriend. But he was a dad.
Okay.
He messed about with these. Right? There's no Irish. He was a charmer.
He was a charmer, but he's not your dad. He's not your dad. Someone take Dad. Hello, right at the back there.
Not Dad, but possibly my uncle.
Okay. It's your dad. It's Dad.
He was from the East End, and I wouldn't have called him a charmer as such, but he was very chatty.
Okay. He's been very charming to me. Okay. Well liked though. He wasn't a drinker. Do you understand there being like a community, like, because it feels like there's this community of men that know him? Okay. Oh, okay, right, because I just feel like you can get, all right, so if you don't understand charmer, would you understand there's some sort of gift of the gab where he can get away with things? Like, yeah, like, he hasn't paid you back for the last tenner he borrowed, but he'll be able to get another one off you because he's so, he can talk his way, charm the birds from the trees.
It was more like he would read a book, like he read the Week Betting book, and then he would phone everybody he knew and tell them all about it. And try and convince them that that was their best.
Okay, let me have a look then. Let me feel into this. But that would be Dad to you, because I feel like the dad is really, really important, okay? And do you understand him having some regret about how he treated your mum?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a man of his time, yeah.
Okay.
But there wasn't a separation.
There wasn't a separation.
As such, except emotionally.
Emotionally. No, it's too woolly. I'm not doing it, guys. Thank you. Right. Somebody is going to take this man, or you're not leaving. So, I have got this man. He feels like a dad to me, and I need to talk about there being regrets of things that he has done, regrets of choices that he has made. You've heard me talk about, you know he's charming, you know that he's a bit of a budget and get on with it kind of guy, you know that he owes money to that guy from down there, and I still see him in a pub. I still see him, and he owes that guy. He hasn't paid his bar tab, but they've managed to serve him another pint. He's that kind of energy. It feels really important. Is that a hand? No? Hi. Okay. I can take that. Right, so you would understand it being dad, charming, owes lots of money to lots of different people, but still can get more, like, just lives this kind of Robin Peter to pay Paul, do this, do that kind of energy, but kind of fun with it. Do you understand this separation that I want to talk about, this distance?
Absolutely. I didn't meet him until I was 17.
Okay, good. I knew these things were important. Okay, because there's regret there, and he would never acknowledge this. And this is why I know it's Dad, and this is why I know it's important. Because he never would have admitted regret about his behaviour, because he's a bit kind of, nah, get on with it, I'm all good. But he sees things differently from spirit. And he realises all of those wonderful things that he missed out on, which he's wanting to acknowledge. You understand with him this kind of, I'll get around to it one day energy that he's got. Like, he just doesn't take things too seriously. Do you understand that with him?
He was a very intense person. Am I allowed to say what nationality?
If you want to, yeah.
He's Italian. I didn't know a lot about him, but when I met him, he'd hurt a lot of people.
Okay. Because I just feel like this is, it sounds like I'm making a judgment, and I'm not, because I believe that every life is important, but this doesn't feel like he feels he lived a life well lived. It feels like there are regrets here. There feels like there are people he's upset. It feels like he's coming in to right wrongs rather than just say, hey, this was me. And I'm really aware of that kind of feeling of, because now he's spirit, he can see all that he missed out on. He can see you and all those wasted years. He can see what he put your mum through. And there is this kind of understanding that he never would have had while he was here, because he was too in his own way. He would just brush it off. So there's an acknowledgement of this here. Do you have a St. Christopher or something that looks like a St. Christopher from him?
He did give me a St. Christopher.
Okay, good, good. I feel like he can leave you as much as he would have liked. And that's why he's bringing in that kind of, there's this regret. He wasn't well prepared. Does that make sense?
So repeat the first.
He wasn't well prepared for passing when he did. It feels like he had this hope that one day he was going to have lots of money. It's almost like, and I know that he's Italian, but it's almost like Italian Del Boy. Like, one day I'm going to be rich. One day I'm going to do these things. One day it's going to pay off. And it doesn't for him. Does that make sense?
He went from very wealthy to very poor to, he was involved in lots of very dodgy things.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Because there's this kind of regret of not leaving you with as much as he would have wanted to, and wanting to acknowledge that. This is a real making amends. And he's telling me that you've forgiven him. He's telling me that you are very loving towards him. But he's wanting to say this to you. He's wanting you to know that he regrets that time that he missed, and he is grateful that you gave him a chance and forgave him, and he realizes now what he missed out on, and he wants you to know that he is so proud of you, and he's really like, I can't take credit for it, but I am amazed that this is my child. I am amazed. So please know that he has learnt and he has grown and he understands the choices that he makes, but he is with you from spirit and he loves you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you for trying on that, guys. Sometimes we have to just bounce around for a little bit to get the right person. I have to do my job properly. Otherwise, they haunt me at night and they pull the duvet off. Okay. Let me just see who I... Right, so I've got Mum here, but I want to talk about Mum being an older lady. She feels like she is elderly when she moves into the spirit world. And I know that you really took care of Mum. So I do feel that when Mum moves into the spirit world, she lives alone. And I do feel like you are her carer or hopping in on a very regular basis to take care of her. I do want to talk about her living alone for quite some time. So I feel like she has been on her own, well established on her own, and for many years quite independent and quite happy. But I do know that as she gets older, things get harder for her, and I do want to talk about you helping her and taking care of her, because this is really, really important. Now, I do want to talk about Mum. I'm not sure if she is something to do with dementia or her mind, but I do want to talk about her changing. Her personality seems to change. It feels like she is harder to be around, much harder to be with. She's not as grateful as she would have liked to have been. So it's like there's two versions of Mum that I want to acknowledge. There's the Mum you grew up with, who was very kind and soft, and then there's the older Mum who's much harder to deal with lady, because there was an acknowledgement from Spirit here of her wanting to be grateful for all you did for her, which she wouldn't have given you while she was here, and that feels really important. Who recognises this, please? Hi.
100%.
100%. That's more like it. That's how we want things. Okay, good. So you would understand, is it dementia or something like that?
Yeah, she was, she's had COPD for many years, and she had was diagnosed, which I took her for Alzheimer's.
Okay, yeah.
Lived on her own very independently.
Okay.
Until a certain time.
Okay, fabulous. And then you were really involved with helping her and looking after her?
Yeah, I used to take her to all of her hospital appointments, wherever she actually comes to live with me for her end of life.
Yeah, okay. And because of what's going on with her, she isn't as grateful for that as she should have been.
She wasn't. We used to, before she come to me, my sister was actually supposed to look after her, but she didn't very well. I come back from holiday to find my mum, like, in a very bad way. This was last year. I took her home with me, she's always wanted to stay in her own home, but I
Yeah.
always made a promise to my mum that whatever happened, I'd never put her in a home,
Okay.
and she wouldn't die in hospital.
Okay.
And yeah, she come back to me, and 2 days later she was blue lighted to hospital. But luckily she was discharged to my care, where I cared for her.
You
2
cared
years
for her.
ago.
Okay, fantastic. Because there's a real feeling here of just wanting to acknowledge what you did and how much you did, and the cost to you, how hard that was for you. Because I do feel like this is a big thing.
Oh yeah. Well,
And that she wasn't able to tell you that while she was here. And there's a real acknowledgement of that.
yeah, no, well, listen, I used to sleep in the room with her, and she used to tell me she loved me every night. I have total peace with
Okay,
the
good.
care with my mum, but yeah, there was a lot of family things.
Okay,
around
don't
me.
tell me too much because you don't feed the
Yeah,
medium.
okay.
I had dinner. Let me just get a little bit more for you then. Okay, so there's this acknowledgement. Now you're with her as she passes. That's correct. Yes.
Yes.
And you are holding her hand
Yes.
and stroking her arm
yes.
because she wants you to know that she can feel that. There's this real feeling of comfort and support and love that you give her.
Yeah.
And you really do make her feel safe. You tell her it's okay, you tell her it's all right to let go. And there's a real gratitude that comes in from her of just how lovely you made her passing for her.
Yeah.
And that's really a wonderful thing. I hope you know that. The way that it feels is a bit like being a baby being wrapped
Yeah,
up.
I used to call her my baby.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good. Because there's just this feeling of being like a baby being wrapped
Yeah,
up.
I used to say it's all right. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay,
No,
fantastic.
no, sorry, Mum, you're not my baby. It was a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, okay, good. There you go. Clever. She knows what she's doing. Okay. There is just, okay, right. Okay. So you would understand Mum before she got unwell. She could be quite an opinionated firecracker, yeah? Because I was in this kind of loving, I was like, oh, you're like a baby. And then she went, no, I have got things I want to say about things that I've been watching going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the other version. So I want to acknowledge here, there's this, she's fuming.
Yeah.
There is this real frustration of you trying to do the right thing, trying to keep everyone together, trying to help people, and everyone is treating you like.
Yeah.
And she's so fed up with it. She can see you trying to keep everyone together, trying to be calm. You've got your own dose of firecracker in there, and you're trying to keep it down. And yeah, I'm fiery too. I love it. And so there is this just you trying to do the right thing, and then you're just like, is anyone seeing this? Is anyone? Your mum is. Your mum is seeing it. She's seeing how hard you're working, how much you're putting your own stuff to one side, how much you're trying, and she just wants you to know you are doing a great job and someone is seeing it. And it just feels like you're surrounded by people who are doing their own thing, best will in the world, they're all in their own stuff, and they're not recognising what you're doing and how much you're giving, but she is seeing it all. So please know that somebody is watching this. She is wanting to say, and I think you might have made this decision already and she's validating it for you, it's okay to pull back a bit. It's okay to say, I've tried my hardest, but I have to focus on me. There feels like this, it's almost like you might have been worried about what she would have said about that or thought about that. She is wanting you to know it's the right decision for you because you're going to make yourself ill, running ragged, looking after everybody else. So there is this gratitude that comes, but also a real acknowledgement of she's seeing you, you've given enough, it's time to just focus on you and what you want for a bit. Yeah. And she brings a huge amount of love, huge amount of just for you. So please know that she's there and you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you. I promise to move the table for the next one. Right. Where are we going to go now? Okay. I have got a man stepping forward. This feels like dad energy to me. And I want to talk about him Okay, he likes football. We're doomed. I can't do football teams. He likes football, innit? I want to talk about him being... Okay, I feel like he passes with his heart, but I feel like he passes not his first heart attack or not his first heart problem. So he would have had a problem for his while with his heart. He may even, have heart surgery or something like that. And I know that... he's very funny because as he moves into the spirit world, there's this, it's almost like he goes bollocks because he knows that it's going. So there is this kind of, he's a really lovely man. He loves the dad joke. He's very funny, and I want to acknowledge that. He loves to make people laugh. Even if they're just laughing because it's so bad, they can't believe he came out with that joke. Like, that's what I feel. So I need to acknowledge that. Now, I want to talk about him. I feel like he's got a lot of women around him. So I do want to talk about this being a girl-heavy family. And I do want to talk about him really loving your mum. I feel like he's not a soppy, mushy man, but he loved your mum. And you knew it. And he really didn't want to go. He wasn't ready to go. He hoped he was going to have more time. Who am I with, please? Who recognises Dad here? Hi. Do you understand everything I've said?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would understand it being some problem with the heart first, and then his heart gives up. You would understand that, yeah. And you would understand him being, he thinks he's hilarious. You understand this with your dad, yeah? Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you agree. Imagine if you were like Hannah, who's the funniest man ever. How could you? But yeah, he's got that kind of vibe. Football fan?
Massively Liverpool football.
Okay, fine, good. He could have done me a Scouse accent, and then I might not have, to be fair. Okay, and then, okay. So his passing itself, it feels very sudden. And as I move into the energy of that, I want to talk about it being someone that isn't able to say goodbye to him. Do you understand this? So is that you? All the family, okay. Because there is this acknowledgement of, and it is kind of like, oh, I'm going, gone. Really kind of out of nowhere. And for him, is he at home when he passes? No, he's, okay. It just feels like, it's really quick. It's just really quick. It's, oh, I'm gone. And he's really wanting to acknowledge that there is no pain, no upset. There is just here and gone with a mid-swear that cuts off halfway through it. He really keeps showing that to me, like it's really quick. So he's wanting to say that there was nothing anyone could have done. And he wants to make that clear. Like he tried to stay, he had what he had to have done, and he really thought he'd got it. But there was nothing that anyone could have done, because there seems like there's conversation of maybe we could have got this, pushed him to get the hospital, or pushed him to get checked, or someone should have done this. It was just how it was meant to be for him, sadly. Okay. Now, he is outside of the family. People would just think he's a man's man. But there is a real soft side to him. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And I really want to acknowledge his girls, so it's not just you.
No, sister.
Yeah, because I feel like he's soppy with his girls. He's soppy with his wife. Not in a mushy way, but just, you knew that he loved you. And you knew he was proud of you. He's wanting to acknowledge, he's got grandchildren?
No.
No. I know you know if you've had children. I'm not arguing with you about that. That would be weird. Are you sure? Have you forgotten? It's quite painful.
As a family, we've all got lots of animals, which are kind of random.
Okay. That would be a strange energy, but okay. I don't want to give out your personal in a hall, and it might be your one of your siblings or something like that. But do you know if someone's trying? Not sure. I mean, not right now at this minute. Don't send them a text and put them off. We're in the mood. Okay, but I just feel like there's so, because he's not budging on this. And normally when I'm wrong and I go back, they go, yeah, what was that? I'm like, oh, I don't know, I made it up. He's not. He's really like, so if you're not trying, be very careful. Have a nice day. Because there's something there that he's really showing me. And I'm stepping away from that energy immediately. Let me just, okay. He's talking to me about, so people would have visited him after he passed and spoken to him. He's wanting to acknowledge hearing all of that. I also feel, who wrote him a note, a letter? Do you know if someone put a letter in with him?
We all did.
Okay, good. Because there's this acknowledgement, oh, I got it all. I heard all the words that were said. I read all my letters. I heard all the words. I was so lucky. I was so loved. And there is this kind of frustration for him because he had plans, didn't he? He had plans with your mum. He had plans he was going to do. He was quite looking forward to this next phase of his life and not being under pressure to work and do all of this stuff. And then it's all taken away. And there's an acknowledgement of that. There's an acknowledgement of like unfinished jobs at home. Yeah. And he read those notes. He heard those words. And there must have been something football related at his funeral too. Yes. Good. Because he loved that. He was really glad that you all did that for him and remembered him as he really was. He's still around. He's still with you. I think you've been dreaming of him or waking up and feeling like he's there. It feels as though you were sleeping. Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, good. That's homework for him. I feel like he's really showing me like that bit where your brain that kind of goes, is it not, is it me, is it spirit, is there something there, is this just wishful thinking? You're going to feel him there, you're going to find him there, and you're going to know that he is there, that he is always with you all, and he hasn't gone anywhere.
Thank you.
He loves you. Thank you. Pretty much perfect timing. So we are just going to have a short interval, hopefully back at 1:45. But if you're all back in your seats, whoever's the last person, give me a shout. We'll start earlier. Pop to the bar, refill your glasses, pop to the loo, and we'll see you then. Thank you. Yay! There we go. Wasn't Carly great? Well done, Carly. I made her do it in the second half. She was hoping I was going to do it in the first half and she'd be able to have a baby. And if you need to run out and get one, you're welcome. Okay, there we go. So, same thing for the second half. More of spirit links from me, and then at the end there will be a chance for any of you that want to ask any questions about mediumship or spirituality, how it works, and I will endeavour to answer them as best I can. So let me just move my mind to spirit and see who wants to come in with me now. Okay, I think I'm following on the heels of the energy that Carly's just created on the stage for me here, because I want to talk about a young man here, and I do feel like this is a car accident. So I do feel like I've got a young man here who would have passed late teens, early 20s of a car accident. And I do feel like this passing is very sudden, very unexpected, as it would be. I do feel like he is in a car that is going at speed. There would be some sort of element of driving like a bit of a tit, as I would call it, which unfortunately plays a part in his passing. Now, I know that he is wanting to acknowledge the impacts of this upon his family. So I know that I want to talk about a sister who is here, and I know that I want to talk about what happened to his parents after this. So I do feel like his parents, I'm not sure if they actually separated, but it just feels like things are not right between them following the stress of losing him, that I want to acknowledge. This has a ricochet effect through the whole family. I also want to acknowledge his bedroom. He still lives at home when he moves into spirit, is untouched for many, many years. I know that it's kept exactly the same as it always was, because his mum cannot bear it. It's exactly how he left it. Who am I with, please? Who recognises this young man, please?
It's very close.
Very
There was a motorcycle accident.
Okay. but you would understand collision, going too fast, losing control. Okay. Is there water involved? Was it raining? No. Okay, maybe I'm just adding in some special effects in my mind. You never know. But would you understand his room not being changed? Because that's really, really important. Okay, and would you understand with him a connection? It might not be his name, but someone around him, Jack.
No,
Being a Jack name.
Jack.
Okay. Let me just see, because I would like to be with you, so let me just see if I can get all of this right for you.
Hello?
Oh, it is! Spirit! Hi! It is on! Okay, right, so, I have got, right, where he passes, there would have been things left put for him, flowers and memories, a photo of him left. Okay, so I'm seeing that. I can see this fast impact. I need to talk about his passing being very sudden. He is not aware. It's not uncomfortable or horrible for him in any way, shape or form. He is here and then he is not here. There is really strongly an acknowledgement from him of driving too fast and being known for driving too fast. Would you understand that?
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
No, he was the victim.
He was the victim.
Yeah.
Okay. At risk of sounding like I'm splitting hairs, would you understand the person that hit him being known for driving too fast?
Yes.
Okay, because I just feel like this is like people were like this. We knew this was going to happen, and he's okay because he wouldn't shovel that energy. So okay, so there's an acknowledgement here of. So you may not know this, but I really feel like the person that hit him, that people had spoken to him about his driving. No? Okay, I'm not sure if I'm with you then. Bear with me one sec. Is there anyone else that can understand all of what I've said? So we've got a young man here who passes in, I think it's a vehicle accident. I will take motorbike if I'm wrong, I'm just seeing wheels. Who would have driven too fast, people would have spoken to them about driving too fast. There's an acknowledgement of you know, that young man kind of immortality thing that they have where they think they're going to be okay. I know that there are stuff left where he passes, and I am seeing rain. I might be adding special effects, but I do feel like there's a skid in the rain. Very sudden passing, unexpected. Okay. Let me just go through it. Yeah, I can't change it. Okay. Would any of you understand this? This is someone who's been in spirit for quite some time here. We're looking at somebody that passed 15, maybe 20 years ago. Young man in a car accident, passes at the edge of the road. It feels like there's a tree involved. It feels like going too fast. Feels like skidding, losing control. I want to talk about the impact on his parents. I do feel like his parents may have separated following it, or certainly have real difficulties. His bedroom untouched for many years, not moved. I feel like it's just this steamroller of misery through his family. I do want to acknowledge at least one sister with him who is left behind without him. Anyone understand this?
Possibly, it's my husband's cousin. So it's not, he's one sister.
One sister, okay. And would have been a young man who passed in a car accident.
He was a
Passenger.
who passed a little bit of rain.
Okay, I just like adding the rain in, I think. It's cinematic. Okay, but you understand this really cause. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's funny how people come through and they're not who you would expect to hear from, isn't it? But I can feel him here, and I know he's here, and he's come on that energy that Carly built, so it's really lovely. Okay. He's a really interesting character to get through because he's really wanting to acknowledge that he didn't suffer. It feels like it's really important to him to say, I'm here, and then I move into spirit. There, even though it's a really horrendous experience, situation, it is really sudden, really quick. There's not a lot of fear for him, and that's really important for him to say. Now, you understand it's been quite some time ago. Yeah, because I feel like he's got to watch. Do you know his sister has had children?
Yes.
Yes, because I feel like he's wanting to watch that, he's seeing that and being still part of that from the spirit world that he's wanting to acknowledge and be a part of. And do you know if someone got a tattoo in memory of him?
I don't know, but I would imagine his sister would have done.
Okay, because I feel like he's wanting to acknowledge that too. So it's an unusual one, because it is kind of just a, hello, I'm still around from the spirit world, wanting to say that he's here, wanting to say that he's okay. And there isn't, I don't feel like you guys were close, you would understand that. I'm not getting a big pull on my heartstrings.
No, that's right.
Yeah, no offence. Imagine if you were. That'd be terrible. But like, he's not filling me up with this huge, if I said to you, he loves you and he's so proud of you, you go, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's more of a just, can you pass on the message if you feel okay to, because I hate mediums to say this to people, but just if you feel like they'd be open to it, could you please let them know that I came through? Obviously this is recorded and put on YouTube, so they will be able to watch back the reading and see him coming in and wanting to acknowledge that he's there and he's part of things. Thank you. I hope you appreciate that I move the mic away when I'm gulping so you don't have to listen to it. I feel like that's really courteous of me. Right, let me just see who is going to come in now. Okay, I've got a granddad stepping forward, and I'm going to trust in spirit that this is going to get more specific, because at the beginning, it's going to sound like half the room, I reckon. I've got a granddad here, and he likes gardening. Can anyone take that? So I know that he is loving potting around. Now, I do want to talk about with his garden, I'm not sure if he's got an allotment as well, but it feels like he's really into gardening. So he talks about gardening, he's got big gardening glossary books out. It's his absolute passion. He spends hours outside, pootling around, growing things, doing things, and this feels like a big part of his personality. I want to talk about him being, he's a funny man, he's a kind man, and I know that he is well liked in the community. I'm not sure if he's involved in some sort of community group, something like that, like the Round Table, or is it called the Round Table? Do you guys know what I mean? Like some sort of charity sunning table. Rotary, thank you. Yeah, he's involved. He might be involved in something like that. Forgive me if it's not exactly Rotary. You know, this kind of gist that I'm getting involved with. So I know that he's well known and well liked, and he's got like a community of people. He goes to meetings. He loves it. And I do know that he is elderly when he moves into the spirit world, and he does leave behind his wife. So he moves into spirit before her. Now, I want to talk about him having some sort of problem with his leg or his knee, and there would be like a little funny walk, and I've got a funny walk, so I will never judge that, don't come for me. But I know that there's something like a little hobble or a little misstep, sometimes his leg will ache, that I want to acknowledge. I do think it might be the knee, that I want to acknowledge with him, but he doesn't let it stop him. I know that he likes to walk into town, he's got his lovely little routine, he'll pop to the shop, he'll do this, and then he'll come home, potter around in the garden, so he's definitely retired when he moves into the spirit world. I do know that he has since been joined by his wife, because I know that they want to acknowledge that they have found each other, and this is a really, really important thing for them. She just wasn't the same without him, because she doted on him, she loved to take care of him. And I see this is the problem. He loved tea. I mean, honestly, a granddad that gardened and liked cups of tea in England. But I'm going to acknowledge it. He never says no to a cup of tea. And there would be a mug that you bought him that he used for his cups of tea with like World's Best Granddad or something like that on it, which I also want to acknowledge. So who am I with, please? Who recognises this? And if 12 of you put your hands up, I'm going to do a better job. Okay, just down there. Anyone else? Oh, I thought I was going to be